everyone, welcome back to Homemaking 101. Today we're going to be making some homemade mozzarella cheese. So first we're going to go ahead and pour a whole gallon of whole milk into our kettle. We have our candy thermometer hooked on the side. We're going to be getting our milk up to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. You can half this recipe if you want, if it's too much. We have to move our thermometer up a little bit here so we can read it. Make sure you use either pasteurized whole milk or it has to be raw milk. None of the other kinds will work. So we're gonna take this out, wipe it off really quick so we can read it. So we're gonna go ahead and heat this up. We're gonna keep stirring it so it doesn't burn. Once it reaches our desired height, then we're gonna go ahead and add some white distilled vinegar. All right, so our milk has reached 115, so we're going to turn it off. It was also on medium-high heat. We're gonna slide it off of the burner. We're going to take out our candy thermometer. And then we're going to go ahead and add our vinegar. So for a whole gallon of milk, we need to add 14 tablespoons of white distilled vinegar. We're going to be doing 2 tablespoons at a time. Then we're just going to stir it for about 30 seconds to incorporate it in. What the vinegar is going to do is it's going to make it curdle. As you can see, it's already kind of starting to do so. That's going to separate our cheese from the milk. And then after we're done stirring, we're gonna go ahead and put our lid on, and it's gonna sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and set our timer. After it has sat, then we're going to go ahead and use a slotted spoon, and we're going to take all of the cheese out. Right, so our cheese has sat for about 15 minutes or a little over. We're gonna go ahead and take the lid off, and inside it is all curdled. So what we're gonna do next is take a slotted spoon. You can use a wooden spoon or whatever spoon you have. We're just gently going to push all this curdled stuff over to the side, try to press it into a ball. It should stick together fairly well. It really depends on your milk. If you have raw milk, it tends to work a lot better. Just gonna keep pushing it over here. Now what we're doing is we're separating our cheese from the whey. So the liquid left over is called whey. You can use that for lots of things. You can use it in soups or for cooking, substitute it for milk or water, or you can make ricotta cheese with it, which is what we're going to be doing. Right, so we're just gonna squish it here, slowly start to take some of this out and place in a microwave safe bowl. And then we're just going to keep pressing it all together in this bowl until we get most of that liquid out. You don't want any of that liquid left or your cheese is not gonna set. Now this process does take a little while, but you wanna make sure you get all the lumps out of your whey. All right, so as you can see, we have got a lot of the liquid out. We're just gonna keep squishing it against the side here. So our whey, we went ahead and sat to the side. And then as we keep squishing this, we're just dumping that liquid back in, making sure that our cheese does not fall in. Now at this point, we can start putting our hands in. I recommend you putting gloves on so the cheese doesn't stick all over your fingers. So we're gonna go ahead and grab some gloves, and then we're gonna hand squeeze this. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and start squishing it together here. Dump out any excess liquid. So we're gonna keep squishing this until we can get a ball. All right, so now that we have formed a ball, we got most of the liquid out, and we can hold it fairly well in our hand. We're gonna place it back in our cleaned out microwave-safe bowl, and we're going to place it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Our goal is to get it up to about 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So you do 30 seconds, you dump all that liquid out, and then you put it in for about another 20 seconds. And you want to keep testing it each time to see about how hot it is. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and place it in a bowl of cool water. It's in the microwave for 30 seconds. We're going to dump off the little bit of liquid that we got out of it. Just keep in mind, it is really hot. So we're going to stick our thermometer in. Give it a couple minutes here, see about where we're at. Now, if you have a meat thermometer, that would work better. We're just using a candy thermometer. So you gotta give it a minute to get up there. So it's not quite there yet. Dump the rest of the liquid that came out. Pop it in the microwave for another 20 seconds. And then we're testing again. All right, so we're gonna test it this time and see about where we're at here. I'm gonna say that's close enough. It is almost there. We're gonna dump the rest of this liquid off here. And it is too hot to touch at the moment. So we're gonna take our spoon and squish it again, trying to get any of the excess liquid off. Keep dumping it back into your whey. I'm going to make another video of how to make ricotta cheese with your whey, so stay tuned for that. You definitely want to do it the same day, otherwise it gets a funny taste. So as soon as we're done this cheese, we're going to start on that. Once it is cool enough to work with it, we're going to squish it with our hands again before we place it in our bowl of cold water. So let's test it here. I think we should be able to work with that pretty good now. Ooh, still pretty hot, so just be careful. Just want to keep squishing. Get as much liquid out here. So as you can see, a gallon of milk does not make a whole lot of mozzarella cheese. Now this will stay in the fridge for about a week to 2 weeks. I always recommend wrapping it in plastic wrap and then placing it in an airtight container. You can also freeze it, same as you can do any regular mozzarella cheese. This is almost ready here. Keep squishing a little bit more out. All right, so now we're just gonna be like folding it a little bit. Kind of want to almost knead it. And squish some more of that out. We're gonna knead it here on the counter a little bit. Just want to give it some stretch. And then kind of push it back together a little bit. All right. So now we're just gonna go ahead, form it into a ball. You kind of want to squish your edges down and under. All right, then we're gonna get our bowl of cold water here. We're gonna place it in. And then we're gonna grab some ice cubes, stick it in here as well. This will just help it cool down a little bit faster. We're gonna leave it sit like this for about 10 minutes. And then we'll get it out. We're gonna pat it dry with a paper towel and it'll be ready to eat. So our cheese has sat in our ice water for about 10 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and take it out. It's a nice firm little ball. I'm gonna set it here, and then we're gonna take a paper towel and just dry it off really good. Just wanna pat it dry. All right, and then it does slice better if you place it in the fridge first and let it get cold. We're going to go ahead and slice it now just to show you. If you want to grate it, make sure you freeze it and grate it while it's frozen. So we're just going to go ahead and slice our cheese here. So there is our fresh mozzarella cheese. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, stay tuned for a ricotta cheese recipe made from our way. I also wanted to tell you guys you can go ahead and add salt to this as well. I did salt-free, but if you want salt, you can go ahead and add it. They recommend that you use like a powdered form of salt or a very fine salt. Do not use iodized salt or it will not work. If you want salt, you're gonna go ahead and add that in when you're stretching your cheese. Like after you have it in the microwave, get all that liquid out and you're stretching, then you want to add just a little bit. You can always try different things. You don't want to add too much because you can sprinkle it on top. You're right. You can always sprinkle it on top if you want more salt. So keep that in mind as well.